Since the creation of railways, there have been hundreds and hundreds of different types of locomotives running on them, each with a story of how they arrived on their respected railways. Some were purchased by preservationists, some were bought when they first came out of the works, and others took the chance of running away to find salvation. This is the story of one such engine who took the chance of escaping. Her name was Iris, and she was a 240 BT well tank. She was built between 1863 and 1875 by the London and South Western Railway. She was designed for passenger services in the suburbs of London. She could always be found pulling local stopping trains all over the circuit. She enjoyed her work as she picked up passengers to and from the stations. Until the 1890s, when most of her class were being withdrawn from service to be replaced by larger and stronger engines. Iris wasn't happy, and she let her driver know how she felt.
What's happening to my classmates?
Well, Iris, a couple of things actually. While some of your classmates are being withdrawn in favor of bigger engines, others are being converted from tank engines to tender engines.
But what will happen to me?
Don't worry, you and 2 others will be kept in service. There's still work for you yet.
Well, that's a relief. I just wish the rest of my class would be saved.
Well, don't worry about that. You'll be a living reminder of what type of engines the BT well tanks really are.
That made her feel better, but she wished she could do more. Years passed by, and soon there were only 3 members of her class left. They were used mainly for pulling China clay trains up and down the line. Until one day she was pulling a train up the line. The weather was gruesome and the rails slippery. As she was puffing along, she passed the signal when it changed to red, just as she passed under it. She was heading for trouble. Unbeknownst to her and her crew, was the track ahead was warped and bent out of place, but none of them could see what was in front of them. She hit the bump in the track, and her front wheels derailed along with the rest of her. She sat there in the pouring rain, helpless. The driver looked back to see the damaged track.
Here's what caused the accident. If only the signal had changed before we passed it, then this could have been avoided.
She wasn't too badly damaged as she was put back on the rails. Then the manager came to see her.
I'm afraid it's not looking good. Due to British Railways' modernisation plan, you won't be in steam for much longer. She'll be put on the scrapping line soon. Her other classmates are going to be preserved, but she won't.
But that's not fair. She's been working on railways for almost 70 years. You can't get rid of that.
This isn't right.
I wish I could do more, but there's nothing I could do.
Then, one night, she heard a loud noise, and the shed doors opened. It was her crew, and the manager.
What are you doing here?
We're here to rescue you.
What do you mean?
We're getting you out of here, and we're leaving.
Where are we going?
The island of Sodor, a place where steam engines can be saved.
Really? We're going to be saved?
It's worth a shot. It's better to go down knowing we tried our best to just sit in a corner waiting for the end.
You're one of the best engines I've had the pleasure of running on my railway. Now go and show Sodor what you can do.
Her crew got her ready to go. It would be a long journey, but definitely worth it. As she was fired up, her driver opened the regulator. She puffed forward and out of the sheds. She was coupled up to a truck of coal and began her journey. The manager waved goodbye, and so did the crew, and they began their quest to Sodor. As they were puffing along, Iris asked her driver,
How long will the journey be?
It'll be a while before we get there. We can only travel at night from midnight to about 5:30 a.m. We'll hide during the day.
So, why are we pulling this coal truck?
Your tanks and bunker can only hold so much coal and water. We won't even get far without it. Still a few water towers, but not many cooling plants. Now that there are more diesels, they're almost all gone.
I hope we have enough of both then.
She continued to puff along, her driver and firemen conserving the coal they had. During the day, they would hide in abandoned areas, even hiding in an old coach shed. They got along well until they approached a signalman who had flagged them down.
What are you doing down this line?
We had a delivery of coal to make to one of the stations.
Well, where's your head code then?
It fell off as we went along the line.
Wait a minute. You're that runaway engine I've heard about. What are you doing here?
We're escaping to Sodor.
Iris, no.
Sodor? You mean the island full of steam engines?
Yes.
Well, that explains it. You have to keep moving. You won't be safe if you stay here. British Railways have really called a search party to find you. Head up the line and you'll find a disused section. You can hide there for a while. Hurry, before the diesels find you.
We really owe you one.
It's no problem. They ask, I'll say I never saw you.
Thank you very much.
As they passed the signalman, he saw something that made him gasp. He saw that the truck they were pulling was leaving a trail of coal behind them.
Oh no.
He tried to tell them, but they were too far out of sight. They reached the disused part of the track, covered the track with foliage, and changed the points. Then they went further back and hid in the abandoned building. Then the crew looked back to see the trail of coal they had left behind. They were worried that someone might find them. They quickly removed the loose coal and hid Iris. While she was hiding, her crew left to find out where they were. During that time, diesels went past, back and forth. One of them went looking for them.
What's this? A trail of coal in that direction? Interesting.
Iris heard the diesel and was worried. He crawled slowly onto the line and stopped by the abandoned shed. He paused a moment. Iris held her breath and tried to stay quiet. Then the diesel went on and left. When he was out of sight, she sighed, relieved to know that she wasn't caught. Later on, her crew came back with news.
The good news is that we're close to Sodor. We could make it in one night.
What's the bad news?
We will be heading into Barrow, so we have to be careful. There will be diesels everywhere.
I just hope we have enough coal to get there.
We have to leave the wagon here anyway. It'll leave a trail and then we'll be spotted. We'll empty the rest in your cab. It should be enough to get there.
I'm worried, but we've come this far. We might as well see it through.
It was late at night when the last train had passed them. Then they took their leave and headed for Sodor, unaware that they were being watched. walked along, they passed the sign for the Northwestern Railway.
It's for Sodor. We're almost there.
But what was once joy turned to shock when they heard a diesel horn behind them. Iris felt worried. The crew looked behind. They saw a diesel chasing after them.
He found us!
What do we do?
Keep going!
Stop right there, Steamy.
Then with a loud bump, the diesel rammed into her. The driver slammed on the brakes as she was pushed into a siding. Through the buffers and off the rails. The dust had settled. Iris opened her eyes to see she had no chance of escaping now. Her crew looked on in dismay as the diesel rolled up to her with the breakdown gang. She was lifted onto a flatbed and was headed for Barrow.
You're awfully quiet. Why do you think that is? Is it because you know the end is coming? I'm not surprised. You steam engines have no place in this world. You're old and past it. You thought you had a chance at survival, but it is lost forever.
Iris kept quiet until they made it to Barrow. There she was lifted off the flatbed and kept in the siding. She was miserable and just sat there while other diesels that passed made rude remarks about her. Until one night she was awoken to find her crew standing right next to her.
You found me? But how?
We followed you in an old handcar.
The thing was just sitting there, so we borrowed it.
That's wonderful. But how are we gonna get out of here?
We aren't sure, but the good news is that Sodor is only a few hours away.
We can only hope for a miracle. Who knows, maybe a red steam engine will come to help.
Well, it's a steam engine.
If it's red, then it really is a miracle.
The driver and fireman turned to find a red steam engine with the number 5 on his tender. He was shunting his goods train and was backing out until Iris's crew was in his crew's attention.
Wait!
Wait!
Hello? Do you need help with something?
Yes, come with us.
James and his crew followed them to Iris and were shocked by this.
Well, I'll be. It's a beady well tank.
I've never heard of that class of engine.
Oh, that's just a reliable class in the 1800s. There's only 2 of them left.
So, why is one here?
We are escaping to Sodor.
We were almost there until a diesel chased us and made us crash.
He brought me here and left me to rust.
This made James cross.
I can understand some diesels being rude and devious, but this is just cruel.
I had no idea they'd be like this.
Believe me, I know about diesels, even though a lot are cruel and nasty. There are some on Sodor who are actually kind to steam engines. Trust me on that. What's your name, by the way?
My name is Iris.
I'm James.
Don't worry, we'll help you get out of here.
Really?
Sure, the Fat Controller will find plenty of work for you.
We really appreciate this.
It's no worries, but we have some work to do before we can go anywhere.
So they made a plan and put it into action. James went to get a return train ready, while Iris's crew made it look as if she was ready for scrap. Once the train was ready, James shunted Iris into his train.
Alright, Iris. Next stop, Sodor.
I'm
But
so
before they could leave, they heard a diesel horn. They both were quiet, and the diesel made his way into the yard. It was the same diesel who brought Iris to the scrapyards in the first place. James looked at him, and he looked at James.
If you think you're taking her with you, you're only fooling yourself. You steamies are the past, and diesels are the future.
She's going to a place where she'll be safe from engines like you.
You won't get far. Neither of you are leaving this place.
Huh, we'll see about that.
Pistons pumping, James charged out of the scrapyard, with the diesel following behind.
Just go away, you diabolical engine!
Iris was scared and kept her eyes shut, while the diesel continued to give chase.
faster, James. He's catching
I'm
up.
going as fast as I can.
James went as fast as he could, but the diesel was getting closer. Then as James got to a set of points, Iris's crew drew an object from the brake van and changed the points to a disused track.
What?
James and Iris were long gone before the diesel could do anything. That morning, James arrived at Crocken's gate very tired. As he was about to shunt Iris into the siding, he heard a voice.
Well, well, James. Had a busy night, have you?
Sir, what are you doing here?
I go where the blood takes me. But for right now, what do you have behind you?
He walked back behind James, and standing there before him was Iris.
Oh my. James, who is this engine?
This is Iris. She was escaping the sodor, but she got caught, so I helped her all the way here, and we were chased by a malicious diesel?
It's true. I didn't mean to get him into trouble, but...
That's enough, that's enough. James, take your goods train, please. I need a minute with Iris.
Yes, sir.
James puffed away, leaving Sir Topham Hatt with Iris.
Sir, if I can explain.
There's no need. I can tell you had quite the adventure getting here, just like I can tell you'll make a great addition to my railway.
Iris gasped and nearly broke into tears when she heard this.
You mean it, sir? Really?
Oh, yes, indeed. You are a rare find, and I wouldn't want that to go to waste. I know the perfect place for you.
Thank you, sir. I can't believe this is really happening.
Believe it, because it's real. Welcome to the Northwestern Railway.
A few months later, James came back to Croven's Gate.
What are you three doing here?
We were asked to come here. Sir Topham Hatt said he had a surprise to show us.
I wonder what it could be.
I'm glad you four could make it. I wanted you to see this for yourselves. Come on out, Iris.
Iris came out of the works as good as new. She was repainted red with gold stripes. She was a splendid sight to behold.
Wow, Iris, how do you feel?
Better than ever, and I have you to thank for that.
Yes, indeed. James, well done. Iris will be a great addition to our railway. Edward, she will work with you, Boko and Philip. She will help the passengers and haul China clay to the docks.
I'm looking forward to working on your branch line, Edward.
Right then, off you go.
Life's tough when you're scared and small, still tough when you're big and tall. Oh, wrong side of McGregor's wall, and suddenly your heart is like a tennis ball. Up and down and side to side, surf so hard you think you died. No love for you. Life's rough when you feel confused, still rough when you hear the news that each day gotta pick and choose the same old sides, the me's and you's. But don't be sad, you're welcome here. Even certain carnivals are in the clear, I promise you. Wind blows and heaven knows that sun can turn to rain. There's nothing much to fear though. Doors close and we all know that love can turn to pain. So let's be each other's heroes. No game, no wall could ever split us up. Our love's forever. No hate, no fear could ever keep us down. We'll stick together. Last night's on a sunny day, French press and a plate of hay, but some days can't escape the fray. Crazily careening like a bird of prey. This old house is never locked. Even Tiggy Wiggles need to knock. I promise you. Wind blows and heaven knows that sun can turn to rain. There's nothing much to fear though. Doors closed, it's on the nose, but love can turn to pain. So let's be each other's heroes. No game, no wall could ever split us up. Our love's forever. No hate, no fear could ever keep us down. We'll stick together. Can turn to rain. There's nothing much to fear though. Doors closed, it's on the nose, but love can turn to pain. So let's be each other's heroes. No game, no wall could ever split us up. Our love's forever. No hate, no fear could ever keep us down. We'll stick together.